All right, let's jump right in. We're going to take a look at the official market report from the Nigerian Exchange Group and really break down what happened in that very busy week ending February 13th, 2026. Okay, so the big story this week, an absolutely massive bullish run. I mean, the all-share index shot up by a huge 6.16%. That pushed the total market value, the market cap, to a brand new record of over 117 trillion naira. And get this, turnover hit over 193 billion naira. That's just a crazy amount of money changing hands. So just to put that turnover number into perspective for you, the value of shares traded literally jumped by 50% from the week before. It went from about 128 billion naira all the way up to 193 billion naira. When you see a jump like that, you know there's a serious wave of fresh cash flooding into the stock market. Now, you've got to ask, where did all that money go? Well, the financial services sector was the place to be. It completely dominated the action, making up a massive 60% of all shares traded by volume. Think about that. Almost 2 out of every 3 stocks that were bought or sold were in banking, insurance, you name it. But hold on, volume doesn't really tell you the whole story. And here's where it gets interesting. While financial services had the most shares traded, they only accounted for about 38% of the total value. So what does that tell us? It means a lot of money was also moving into more expensive stocks in completely different sectors. And this really builds on the overall mood of the market, which was, just overwhelmingly positive. We saw 79 stocks go up in price, while only 27 went down. That's almost a 3-to-1 ratio of winners to losers, which just screams confidence. And just look at the top gainer, Zichus Agro Allied. It posted an unbelievable 60.71% gain in just 1 week. And this wasn't just about a few hot stocks. No, it was a sea of green across pretty much every single major market index. They all finished higher. The year-to-date numbers are just wild. The NGX Oil and Gas Index up over 40% for the year already. And the NGX Growth Index has just soared, an incredible 61% since the start of January. So we've got this huge rally in stocks, a really powerful story. But was that everything that happened in the market? Not even close. Let's see what was going on behind the scenes. Turns out, exchange-traded products, ETPs, also had a massive week. The total value traded in them more than tripled, a 250% jump to over 1.5 billion naira. A spike like that is a big clue that the larger institutional investors, the big money, were getting in on the action, using these funds to get a piece of the rally. But honestly, maybe the biggest story of the week, even bigger than the stock rally, was this incredible wave of new capital that poured in through the bond market. Let's really dig into this one. We had 3 major new bond listings. Okay, first up, a 16.1 billion naira infrastructure bond from the Lagos Free Zone Company. This is capital that's going directly into funding key development projects, stuff that's going to have a real physical impact on the economy. Second, the Lagos state government came to the market with a green bond worth almost 15 billion naira. And this is really cool. This money is specifically for sustainable projects. We're talking renewable energy, clean transportation, things like that. And then came the big one, a massive 230 billion naira 10-year bond, also from Lagos state. The fact that a deal this big got done just proves that the Nigerian market has some serious depth and the ability to fund huge long-term public projects. So when you put those 3 listings together, what do you get? Over 260 billion naira in new capital raised on the bond market in a single week. That is a truly significant injection of long-term funding into the economy. So let's tie all of this together. The report itself sums it up perfectly. The week was all about strong bullish momentum in stocks and huge capital injections in the debt market. It's that powerful 1-2 punch of rising stock prices and fresh long-term investment that paints such a positive picture. And if there's one key takeaway, it's captured right here in this quote from the report. This wasn't some fluke rally driven by 1 or 2 giant companies. The growth was widespread. It was a broad-based vote of confidence from investors across the entire market. And all of this leaves us with a really exciting question, doesn't it? With this much positive momentum, with over 250 billion naira and fresh capital hitting the market in just a week, what on earth could the next quarter possibly hold? And what does it all signal for the Nigerian economy going forward?